Oh, wait, the last, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the American Magpie. My name is Chris, and in this video, we're outside here in Missouri, United States of America. Right there, you see the beans. And listen, in this particular video, different setup, but I want to rant. I want to voice my opinion on this Tonali case. I've talked about it, I talked a lot about it, really. Well, I mean, maybe just one or few videos. Don't really want to dwell much on Tonali himself. I've said enough on exactly what I think on his situation, on his side of things. I want to focus a little more on AC Milan's side of things, because at the end of the day, I like Tonali, always did. And when he came to Newcastle, I think that it was a good signing, good player, national, international player. And I think it was a good signing. To me, better than Declan Rice and Caicedo. That he just doesn't have as much media that those guys do, especially in the Premier League that we focus on. So obviously he wasn't very much known in the Premier League. So, but I think he's better than them when he's playing right. Well, it comes to find out that this issue comes out, and of course everything is thrown off, because I do believe that AC Milan knew about this situation. There's no way, absolutely no way, that they didn't know that he had these issues. And we're talking about his agent confirmed that he has an addiction to gambling. And so an addiction is something that you can't hide for the most part. And being a public figure, and of course him being at AC Milan and him betting on AC Milan games, according to some reports that he wasn't betting on the games that he was involved in, but of course being a player, that's kind of irrelevant. And it is irrelevant because a footballer cannot bet or gamble on football whatsoever. So now he is looking more than likely to be banned for a year. That would be devastating for Newcastle United. And so I believe that AC Milan pulled one on Newcastle. I believe that AC Milan knew about it, and they just wanted to get rid of the problem, basically. Maybe they tried to help him, and he wasn't willing to take the help. And so, therefore, they said, you know what, let's get rid of him, get £60 million, and be gone. I always thought that it was a cheap price for a player of his caliber. He's no crack player, but I thought, man, £60 million, that's one hell of a deal. And I said it on previous videos. And another thing that caught my attention is that Italian players really don't leave their country. And same as English players you see Jude Bellingham right now, but that's unprecedented, really. You don't usually see these types of moves. David Beckham, Michael Owen, those, and some of those didn't work out. And of course, you got another one, which is Bale. He's Welsh, and but you don't really see it a lot, and especially in Italy. Also, it's hard for them to just leave their country. And in this situation, with the price being really low, I can assume that AC Milan knew about this, and they just said, let's get rid of him. Doesn't matter. We give £60 million for him, or 59, whatever, 60 million pounds. And it is what it is. We get rid of the problem. And I think it's low. I think it's cowardly for them to do this. And certainly Newcastle needs to do something about it, because you spend £60 million on a player that potentially you won't be able to see for a year. And, there were talks of 3 years. That would be devastating, but it's devastating enough for him to be gone for a year. In football, that's eternity. And not only that, we're just counting a year, but of course he would have to come back, get back in shape, get back in football timing. It would just be so much. And of course right now he is devastated. According to reports, he is devastated. He's shaking, he's sad, he's concerned about his career. And I don't know if they have on these contracts, if they have certain types of clauses that would, if the player makes a mistake or messes up, that they're not going to be able to pay him his contract. So I'm sure that he's looking at at this situation and be like, hey, I cannot afford not to get paid. Of course not. He's a millionaire. All these footballers are millionaires, and if all of a sudden they can't get their money, it's going to be devastating. And for the Newcastle side, I mean, this would just be bad, financially bad. And I mean, this has, but it raises the other question. This is the Italian football side investigating this. So I'm not sure. I know that FIFA has rules, and does he fall into that? Does the Premier League stop him from playing as well? At this point, at this moment, he is, according to ESPN, he is able to play. He can play this weekend for Newcastle against Crystal Palace, game that we will have live on here on the channel on the American Magpie. And but also there's a moral thing, right? There's a moral thing on how to take care of this. Is Eddie Howe going to play him? What does Newcastle do? Newcastle came out with a statement, but it's not really a statement. It's just saying that they're not going to talk about it because investigations are still ongoing. But I will say this, it is a violation. So I'm just going to throw this out. It is a violation, just as domestic abuse is a violation. And on that situation, I would assume that Newcastle, any other club like Manchester United, for example, they have set their players apart because they were involved in these types of allegations, even though they weren't proven to be guilty. So does Newcastle take this as the same thing? What do you think? Certainly it's not the same thing. Obviously we know it is not, but at the same time, it is a violation indeed. And so I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do in this situation on the moral standpoint of things. But at the end of the day, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for the club, and I think the club needs answers. And they need to go knock on AC Milan's door and demand for those answers. My name is Chris Rodriguez here on the American Magpie. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, give us a thumbs up. It helps us a lot to keep growing, and we'll see you on the next video. If not, we will see you live on Saturday for the Magpie game between, of course, Newcastle and Crystal Palace. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.